So there are questions under the geometry section, and again, it's not section, but they put in there things like statistics and probabilities and things like that. So this question is an average question. Now it says here in the formula sheet, there's a formula in there. And it's really no help at all because they take what the mean means average, and they write out what mean means, but they write it in a way that really doesn't help a whole lot. When they say average, they're saying add them up and then divide by the numbers. So if we had, if in my JV football or basketball career, I scored 5 points, 1 point, 3 points, and 2 points because I was on the bench, man. I was nothing. And go in 4 games, what was my average score? We add these numbers together and then divide. So I'd add 5 plus 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. It would be 11 over 4, which is 11 divided by 4, which is pretty bad. So that's normally how they do an average question. Here's a bunch of statistics. Usually they don't put them in order or whatever, and it's nicer to have things in order from lowest to highest, and then divide by the number of numbers. How GED may very well ask a question is the way they're doing it right here. Physics 101 has 4 tests throughout the semester. If Giovanna has scores of 52, 75, 61 on the first 3 tests, what would he need in the 4th test to get to a 70%? A couple things first when we look at this question. GED does some things that are tricky. Sometimes they'll put in a number that doesn't mean anything. Physics 101 is the name of the class, but it looks like we have to do, it might tempt us to think we have to do something with that 101. We don't. So we want to ignore that. Then sometimes they will bury a number we need by writing it out as a word. Fatigue and distract. This is an example of fatigue. This is an example of distract. That is how they do things. They make it tough by burying a number and then adding something else that's jumping around saying, pay attention to me when it's really meaningless. That doesn't mean, me pointing this out doesn't mean it's going to trip us up. We just have to know that's their game, that they do that. And, they'll pay for it after they die and go face their whatever. So we ignore that. We remember there's 4 tests and they only gave us 3 scores. And they're saying, what about the 4th test? And they wrote that out as a word also. So this is where they sort of backwards engineer the thing. They're giving us the answer. The average is 70. So remember before it was some number plus, man, I can't really draw it too well today. It was like something like this. A bunch of crap added together, and then you divide by the number of numbers. There's 3 numbers there, and then you get the mean or the average. So we got to do the same thing here, except we got to do it backwards. We're going to add 52, 75, 61, and add those. And then we got to add X. This is where we got to do that. We have to, we don't numbers and letters next to each other give aggravation and all that stuff. Well, we got to do that. We got to put something there. Well, we don't know what that number is yet. And then we're going to divide it all by 4, the number they buried, right? 4 tests. And the answer is going to be 70. And we can look at this and go, man, I hate this. We can't. This is one of those questions that is doable and it takes time. These are the kinds of questions we want to be good at. So first things first, we're going to add all of these numbers together.
$188.
Damn, you're fast, man. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. 188. And I'm gonna neaten up this stuff here, make it a little less crazy looking. Okay, now we're 2 steps away from getting this answer. They're a little bit weird. Normally, it's like 3x plus 4 equals 13. That kind of 2-step algebra is, well, we just do the opposite of that one. We cross that out. 3x comes down. This is 9. Then that's multiplied, so we divide. Oh, sorry, we put this underneath. Crossed it out too soon. That, divide down, and x equals 3. That's normal 2-step algebra. We got to do 2 steps also. We got to do them in a little bit backwards order. First thing, we want to get the x alone. We want to get this thing all by itself. Figure out what that score is. We got to get rid of the 188 and the 4. What we're going to get rid of first is the 4. Since it's downstairs and it's dividing from all of that, we do the weird thing of putting it upstairs and multiplying like that. So then whatever we do to this side, we got to do to this side.
Other side.
Because on the left side, where the x is, we want to do all the artwork and just cross stuff out. Right? Because that'll cancel out that. 188 plus x comes on down. And on the right side, the opposite side is where we do the real live math. And that would be 280. Next thing we're going to do is get rid of this 188. That's a positive 188. So to get rid of it, we do a negative 188.
Mm-hmm.
So fair and equal, we do that on this side too. This side gets the artwork, x comes on down. This side gets the real live math. So that is one way to do it. So I'm going to undo that little video. Oops. I'm going to undo that little video. We're going to walk through that again. Now, they do like bowling scores. Average bowler is this, but we lost one of his scores and we got to know what it is, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to walk through all of this, but there is another way. So this is what we did. We saw that we took the information we had and we added it to a number we don't know yet, and it's divided by 4, and all that has to equal 70. We added that together, got that, straightened out our fraction there. Get rid of the 4, then get rid of the 188, and that worked out. Here's the other way we can do this. If our brain is fried and we can't think, man, I got to do all that reverse algebra and all that other stuff. Here is one thing we can do. Put the answer on trial. If the answers are lowest to highest, pick one of the middle ones and go 87. If I put in 87 here, then added all those numbers up and divided by 4. Well, shoot, let's just do it.
28 plus 87.
That's 275, right?
Yeah, 275, Jeff.
So then 275 divided by 4, if that's what was it? We said 275, right? Man, I'm hitting clear. Sounds like 275 divided by 4. That would be 275 divided by 4. Gives us 68.
75.
Not only do we know it's not the right answer, it's also not high enough. So that means getting an even lower score won't help it either. So both of these are wrong. So now we're down to a 50-50. It's close though. It's only 1.25 off. So what if we change that to 92? If we change that to 92, 188 plus 92, that would be 280. 280 divided by 4, that would tell us it's, so that's the strategy of putting the answers on trial. As long as we can figure out what, man, if I only knew what that was, I'd add them up and divide by 4 and then see if it's 70. So pick, if you want to try, if it's lowest to highest and you know how to figure the thing out, pick one of the middle two. And that way you'll only have to do the equation twice. We tried 87 and it wasn't high enough. So that one wasn't high enough either. We tried that one and it's either gonna work or not gonna work. If this didn't work, then that has to be the answer. But it did work. So that way we only have to try the answer, try out the equation twice, and we can figure stuff out. Doable and worth the time. It is worth the fight.